Welcome to cbblues.com. My name is Carla D, and I'll be keeping it real with you here and sharing all of my interviews, reviews, adventures, and so much more. On today's stream, I get real with Rob Ring about the up-and-coming film project about the legendary bluesman Mel Brown. Rob is the editor of this incredible tribute to the late Mel Brown, who was an inspiration to me as a struggling music journalist and radio programmer back in the mid-'80s. To me, Mel was a patient man who easily shared his musical knowledge and gifts. So stay tuned to cbblues.com and me, Carla D, and together we will be keeping it real.
This is Rob Ring, and you're listening to cbblues.com.
Somebody said there's this really great player who's playing down at this new blues club. We got to go hear him. I heard him do his first song, and he kind of eased into the song. I said, "It's pretty good." And then by the end of the song, my jaw was on the floor. He had just ripped the song apart. He was absolutely incredible.
Here in Southern Ontario, I mean, you're talking something that's from the Deep South, and you're putting it here. People are bound to notice and go, "Wait a minute, this is different."
He was a fountain of wisdom and an aggravating human being because he could either play the guitar or he could play the piano and break your heart.
I'd like to give a big hand to Mr. Mel Brown.
I'm really excited about your project. I think it's a really great idea. In what capacity did you know old Mel Brown?
Actually, I never knew Mel personally. I certainly knew of Mel, and I'd seen him perform a few times. Basically, I'd seen him playing around town at the blues festival and whatnot, but I never actually got the chance to meet him in person, unfortunately.
So how did you get involved in this project, though? Where did the idea come from?
The credit for that has to go to Sean Jasmine, who's the executive producer / director of the film, who I've been working on this project for quite a while now. And we started talking about doing a film based on Mel Brown's life and his music before he passed away even. And Sean had talked with Mel about the possibility of doing a film, but sadly he passed away before work actually began on it.
And where does Phil Bass fit into this? Because Phil Bass is my old editor from the KW Record when I was the music reporter there.
Yeah, well, Phil has been invaluable to this project. If you've worked with him, then you'll know that he's, for the last few years, he's been going out to cultural events, art events, music events, and documenting them as a videographer. And so thanks to Phil, we have hours and hours of archival footage, Mel performing. Phil also helped with a lot of the interviews with other musicians and whatnot for the film.
Okay, and there used to be a guy that hung out at Pop the Gator years ago that used to videotape Mel. Did you find him?
We don't have any Pop the Gator footage yet. But we do have a couple sources that say that they're going to get us tapes shortly that we can digitize and use.
And you had mentioned in someplace, I think it was on Facebook, that you received funding to go ahead with this project?
Yes, Sean received funding from the Region of Waterloo Arts Fund, and that's been a huge help. It's enabled us to actually spend, well, it's been, I'd say, about a year now that we've been actively working on, going through the footage and cutting the film. But in fact, it's been going on longer than that. But the funding is thanks to the Region's Arts Fund.
Oh, that's really good to hear. I used to belong to that committee many moons ago. Now, what are you looking at for a release date?
Release date, well, we plan to have it released sometime this calendar year. We're still looking at our options in terms of exactly when and where we premiere the film. But the plan is to do a theatrical run of the film, so it'll actually be in cinemas, and then following that, we'll release it on DVD and probably Blu-ray as well, because we are shooting it in high def.
Okay, well, maybe we can get, a copy of that happening over here in Spain for all our blues fans over here. Okay, well, this is all very exciting. I'm really thrilled and really happy for you, people that are getting on the bandwagon and doing something. It's just fantastic, and I wish you all the luck.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a really great film. It's if you're a fan of Mel's, you'll love it. If you're a fan of the blues, you'll love it. If you're a fan of music, you'll love it. And Mel's story is so compelling that even if you're not into music, the story is really engaging and quite touching.
Yes, I really like some of those young Mel Brown photos, the black and white ones that you found. He was quite a handsome young man, I think.
Yes, yeah, we actually got a lot of old photographs and things like that from his widow Angel. She's been a great help in this process as well.
It's funny you should say that. I was text messaging with her on Facebook today. I thank you very much for this interview, and I look forward to this project. Can I get you to do one more thing for me?
Sure thing.
I just want you to say your name and that you are listening to cbblues.com.
This is Rob Ring, and you're listening to cbblues.com.